Hi, it's Tara. It's Transformation Tuesday. I want to talk to you a little bit about the transition from 2017 to 2018 right now. You've seen so many people sort of switching out from specific goals and resolutions to setting intentions this year. And in some ways, that's kind of perfect because the bigger your life gets, the more intention matters. The less able you are to control every single granular project, the less able you are to spin every single plate, the more important it is to flow your energy in a general direction and attract in the right partners, the right resources, the right opportunities. I think intention setting is also much more aligned than very granular goal setting is to how life and business really work. Right? It allows you to claim your vision and know with clarity what you want while allowing flexibility for how you'll get there and how that'll play out. I love that because I think it taps into sort of realms of consciousness and energy, which have seemed so off limits in business and in career for so long, which is why I think we're seeing some of the industry-wide like reckonings and deconstructions and reconstructions in somewhat spiritually bereft industries. That said, I don't believe you can stop with intention setting. As I was sort of sitting with a couple days ago what my own process for transitioning this year was going to be, I really was like wanting more than intention setting, wanting something that was ceremonial and energetic, but also clear and practical, something from which natural next steps would naturally flow. And something came to me that I really wanted to share with you. I think you might find it useful. I had this spark of recognition that the energy of going from an old year to a new one is very similar to that same energy that you have when you leave a job and you start a new job. When I have left jobs in the past and left companies in the past, I've always left in a place of real appreciation, frankly, for the experience I had there, and a place of pride for the work that I've created there and its value to the organization. So I've always created something called a transition document, which is where I sort of leave, it's a document where I just put down on paper or in the cloud, as the case may be, my set of sort of, here's what you need to know for the next person who's going to take that role. Here are really basic things like sometimes passwords and where you'll find certain things, but also like, here's the strategic plan we've been working against. Here are the people on the team that you can look to do these sorts of things. Here are, I'm sharing my institutional knowledge and my experience and instructions while also honoring that this person is fresh and new to the organization, has fresh and new energy for it. Things that didn't work for me or that I don't like about the organization, they might love. So wanting them to have maximum opportunity to build on that and really being thoughtful as I create the transition document about how not to taint their experience with the things that didn't work for me. So I decided I would do a similar exercise with myself for the transition from 2017 to 2018, that I would literally put together a set of passed down notes from 2017 Tara to 2018 Tara. And I know that sounds like a bit much, and for some it might be, but for me, it was a brain dump process. I basically put together a couple of categories and then just dumped a bunch of bullet points onto a document in those categories. It took maybe an hour, but it sparked so much inspiration that I kind of keep coming back to it. I'm actually giving myself like a full week to capture all of the thoughts that were sparked by this document. So here are the questions that I asked myself, the sort of categories of observations that I tried to capture in this document. What did you appreciate out of 2017? What really worked this year? What questions did I answer this year? Some people would hear that as, what problems did I solve this year? But I try to think of problems, instead of thinking of problems as things requiring solution, I try to reframe them as questions requiring answers. So what questions did I answer this year? What clarity and inspiration did I come to and receive this year? What became part of my identity, right? How did who I am shift this year or evolve this year? And what am I ready to release now, moving into the next season? The last couple of big buckets of questions were these. What do I want for 2018? And that broke down into a few sub-questions. What verbs represent what I want to do with my time and energy this year? What do I intend to create this year? what do I want the highlight reel of 2018 to look like when I play it back? And most importantly, how do I want to feel this year? That was the last sort of big bucket of, metabolizing 2017 coming into 2018. And then I ended on this bucket. What questions do I need answers to moving forward? And who might be able to point me in the right direction toward those answers? Now, I think because I ended on the questions bucket, what I have found is that in my time, I did this 2 days ago, like on New Year's Eve. In my meditation, my free writing, and even my first few meetings of the year, I have found an overwhelming influx of answers to those questions that I articulated in this document showing up with ease. People I wanted to work with or who can't do exactly what I wanted them to do are already showing up and raising their hand saying, hey, here's what I can do that I think would be really valuable to you. New relationships are already starting to come in because I've primed myself to be looking for them. I like this approach in particular, this transition document approach, for a couple of key reasons. It enables a couple of practices and mindsets that I think you will find very valuable as you're trying to live and lead a conscious life and make conscious decisions about your, life, love, work, relationship, community, family, career path, fun this year. The first mindset that I think is really good at enabling is metabolizing, under processing the year by doing exactly what your body does with food, right? Keeping what's nourishing, keeping what serves you, discarding the rest. I like the mindset also of appreciation. Appreciation has that double entendre to it, where what you appreciate is a thing that you focus on and you sort of savor and revel in, but it's also something that grows. And by law of the universe, what you appreciate does grow. So I like that this approach captures or gives space, real estate, mental real estate, to appreciation as a practice. I really enjoy the process of segment intending. So setting an intention is sort of saying, like, I intend this for whatever, my life, my career, my whatever. Segment intending is specific to a period of time where you're specifically saying, I intend for this year to be about X. Like, for example, last year I in looking back and looking at our whole world and my life and everything, you can see that last year was a real year of reckoning. It was a year of servicing old patterns and deep things that weren't working. It was also a year of great revelation about new things that are working, new clarity, new consciousness. And I believe that this year will be about creation, about building, about growth, about expansion. So segment intending allows you that opportunity to say, for this period of time, here's what I intend. There's a couple of other things this transition doc approach sort of facilitates. One is the shift from old story to new story. You can look back and kind of see what the old story is that you've been living and sort of start to reframe it, understand what the evolution to the story that you want to live into 2018 will be. And that is not just a fun woo-woo experience. It is also, once you know what your new story will be, you know what character you'll be playing in the new story, and or are able to naturally get to is a next step, what you'll need to do more of, what you'll need to stop doing to be the character you want to be in the story that you're creating for 2018. And that's really important, that last bit about what you'll stop doing. Because when you stop doing a project that's not really working, a pattern in a relationship that's not been working, that's where you'll find all of the energy and resources you need to do the new things, the fresh and new things you want to do in 2018. The last thing is that this transition document approach is really natural segue into equipping yourself with what you need for this year. Right? The next easy step is to get more granular in your thinking and your clarity about what is actually the most important to you, what you will pour your time and your energy and your resources into in 2018. And I have a couple of tools and approaches that we'll talk about for that for next week. One is called the 6x6. The other is a practice that I'm calling War Paint, inspired by The Last Jedi. If you haven't seen it, you should go see it before next week, and we'll talk about it a little bit. But that's how I'm approaching the transition of the year, is really having 2017 Tara capture and document everything that 2018 Tara needs to know to move forward into the next season. So let me know if this approach works for you. I'd love to know if you try it, if it works for you. In particular, I'd love to hear back in the comments about what you appreciate from 2017 that you hope you can continue to grow into 2018.